Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today is Monday, May 9th. We're sitting down with Georgia Southern starting center Chance Carroll. First off, Chance, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. It is an honor, it's a pleasure, and we're looking forward to many wins and victories this football season.
Oh yeah. Hoping for the same. I appreciate y'all having me on here. It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
man. Can't wait to see y'all run through the conference again and just absolutely tear it up, dude. I'm really excited for y'all. It's gonna be a good season.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So to
I'm
keep on that track, how's the off season been like for you? How's the prep? You've been spring ball now. We've had the spring game, school's winding up right now, but how's the off season been for you and the rest of the team?
Offseason's been great. We had a few new offensive transfers as well as defensive transfers as well. I think we're all starting to get the chemistry together as a team. Um, but it's been good. Everyone stayed healthy. I don't think we had any really serious injuries throughout the spring.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I mean we had a good spring ball. Especially for the offensive line. We have a lot of depth. So a lot of vet guys, playing a lot of experience. And I'm excited to get going back in August.
Yeah, I was
How's
talking
the
to Cole about that
yeah.
earlier, dude. It's just there's a lot of guys returning, on that offensive line. Of course, yourself, you got Keyshawn and Caleb Cook right next to you. And then, who's going to be tackles this year?
Right now, we're rocking
Good
with
question.
Rob Wright and Kalen Williams.
Okay, so two good players. I think Rob's been hurt, a couple years when he's been in Statesboro, but Kalen got his first start last year against South Carolina State. You've got a lot of guys that have been under Clay Helton for, this is your third season. So a lot of guys been under Clay Helton the entire time. How does that chemistry for you, being the leader of the offensive line, how does the chemistry work, with you guys? Is it, obviously some guys can plug and play, but is it, a lot easier for you guys to communicate when y'all have been on the same page for years now?
I think we can plug and play, but you know, after last season, I got my first start as well. Started like 9 or 10 games last year. Um, but going through like fall camp last year, especially as a new guy, we were really able to, set a standard for ourselves. Like in my past years, what my other school was, we were the guards and the tackles relied a lot on the center.
Mm.
Here, no one really relies on the center to make the calls or anything. Like sure, like I'll let everyone know who the mic is, but they're able to make their double team calls. They're able, say, hey, we need to go out here. Like we got something like we see a blitzer off the edge, and and that's what I love about it because it takes the stress off of me. Makes my job
Yeah,
easier.
I was gonna elaborate on that, not having to deal with it, just having that trust in your guys. And I know that you have a really good relationship with JC. So not only do you have the trust in your guys, to your right and left, but the guy behind you, that snap exchange obviously is a lot of pressure on that, make sure that goes cleanly. But just having that relationship overall, makes the offense, so fine-tuned, and then moving forward to this season, JC got his first year under his belt. Now year two, y'all can grow and build off that and go out there and really, hone in and maybe fix any mistakes that y'all had last year and really take that next step, which again, y'all took again last year. Last year was a hell of a year, but you know, I'm putting my money on, a conference title. I know y'all boys can do it. I know it's in there, and just to dominate. So not only just the relationship you have with the guys to your right and left, but the guy behind you too, taking the snaps and stuff. You want to, talk a little bit more about that?
Right. Yeah, I think we definitely take a lot of stress off of JC. We're able to pick up blitzes and, games from the defensive front. I think we did that really well last year. And I mean, our pass that's really good. We gave up, too many sacks for sure. But, we're striving now to, lower that number. And going throughout spring, I think we really bettered that in our game. And I think we're taking some stress off JC, especially like even with Tyler Budge and Turner, two younger guys in the room. I think when they get out there with us as well, I think they feel confident in themselves, and that's the main thing is if your quarterback has confidence, the team's going to move.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Budge, he got a few snaps last year, still picked up his red shirt, but Turner's obviously familiar with the offense. So, that, kind of helps with him coming from Western Kentucky. I mean, obviously, being under his uncle, now he's under his dad, being a player. But is that something that you as a center, maybe just in the center room or offensive line room, as a quarterback room, is some of the guys who y'all are really looking to go hang out with? I know the linemen, linemen usually stick together, but I saw you at the Zach Top concert when we ran into each other, started talking about this. You had Chance Gamble was there, JC, couple other guys. Is that kind of like your crew?
Yeah, man, I like to hang out with everybody. Try to as best as possible. Being an MBA student in grad school doesn't help with that a lot, though. I'm really busy when it comes to school. So I try to take care of that first. But normally, texting the teamworks chat like, hey, who's all going out tonight? Or hey, someone's cooking out at the apartment complex. Like people are all pulling up and we're all hanging out as a team.
Yeah, I feel like under Coach Shelton, I guess I've like just noticed it more because I've paid attention to it more. I feel like obviously you weren't at Southern, prior to Clay, but I feel like he's kind of brought a different culture in, and a lot of the guys are kind of sticking together more and being not only better friends. I'm not saying those guys in the past weren't, but I've just kind of paid attention to that a little bit more. And going back to what you said earlier, just y'all being able to pick up blitzes on the offensive line. I feel like just with the guys that we've had, that you've played with and, the coaches as well, I feel like the in-game adjustments for y'all on the offense and defensive side of the ball has really taken year one under Helton, and then last year is really taking that next step. And that's why I'm so excited for this year because you're going to be more experienced as a starter. You've had what you said 9 or 10 games as a starter now. You're looking in a year or two, you're going to be able to find that mic a little bit quicker and, pick up those defense. Same with, the coaches as well.
Right. Especially, going into my second year in the Sun Belt. We've already played the conference teams and defenses don't really change that much, especially if they have the same DC. And if it's the same DC, he's probably under a guy that I've already watched in the ACC or a team that I've played from the ACC. So, being able to go back and like watch games and you really pick up their tendencies quick. I seem to pick up their tendencies quick. Monday's a big day for me. That's our off day during the season, but that's the day where I sit in there with Keenan and we watch film for probably 2 or 3 hours, watch a couple of different games, a couple of different cut ups, and just really pick it up. And then Tuesday's another big film day. I definitely watch 1 or 2 games, but when it comes Wednesday and Thursdays, it's mostly cut ups of the team, trying to pick up their like third down, tendencies and stuff like that.
Yeah, what's kind of like when you're flipping on the film Monday, you're looking at, whoever you're playing the next Saturday. Obviously, without giving away your strategies here because you're still playing. But is there something that you could say? It's like, what's one thing that you're really looking for on Monday morning in the film room?
So Monday morning is a big personnel day for me. Kind of figuring out who they're bringing out on first and second down, who they're bringing in on third and short, third and medium, third and long, or even like second and long. Some teams will come out there and they'll put more agile guys, maybe another DN in, take a D lineman or take an interior guy out, put a DN in. That's kind of what I'm trying to pick up there. And really anything with like their movement, if they're inside, hands down, if they're going to move inside, what foot's back, stuff like that.
Yeah, just
I
like
like that.
simple stuff.
I
Simple
like
stuff.
that.
I don't get too into it because normally
Mhm.
the game plan's not, fully in on Monday.
Of course.
I try to pick as much as I can on Monday.
So being like a grad student, you have so much going on. I kind of want to know what you do, like, for your personal self to kind of keep your, just kind of keep yourself honed in and like, because that could be real stressful, like on top of school and on top of being the leader in the O-line room and having to go out and watch film and critique everything. And I know you got the less stress like coming off you because you guys know what they're doing, but like, what do you do in like your free time to kind of just, relax, maybe chill out and, just have, just kind of be yourself, you know what I mean? Turn the football off a little bit.
Yeah, normally I try to keep, all the football at the facility. That's
Hmm.
what I try to do just because normally when I come home, I'm either working on homework. But, when I'm done with all my stuff, I'm a big movie guy, love watching movies. So that's what I like to do.
I
Yeah, I
heard I
mean,
heard you were a big golfer and fisher. Is that true?
Big golfer, big hunter, like to fish.
What
So
what's the handicap looking like? I know you don't get that often to play, but you know,
I'm probably like a 12 in fish.
okay. Okay, all right, all right. I can deal with it. I'm a 13, 12,
Are
8, 15. So I feel
I
sure we might have a competitive match.
are you the
Yeah.
best in the O-line room? That's the question.
Oh, 100%.
There you go.
Are
All
you are
right.
you the best on the team?
No, no, I have to give that one to Alex Smith. That man,
Oh, okay. I've heard that the
he can
Aussie punter
shred it.
Cole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can
I
shred
heard
it.
he's good.
It's something about those special team guys just being super,
I
my
don't think they have
buddy,
too much time on their hands, you know?
my a
Yeah.
friend of ours, we interviewed him last year, Ryan Fitzgerald, who just signed with the Carolina Panthers. He was Florida State's kicker, man. He's lights out. And I'm like, it's got to be a special teams thing, man. Like every special teemer seems to be good at,
Yeah,
golf.
I've played golf with Youngwei Koo and Tyler Bass, and they're both like solid, solid players.
You know who else is really good is Matt Daniel.
Really?
Make sure you scratch.
Really? I didn't
Wow.
know that. I did not know that.
I've heard
That's
I've never
awesome.
played with Matt, but I might need to drag him out there.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's awesome,
Hey,
dude.
I tell you what, not on the team anymore, but Tyler Fromm, if he would actually sit down and play golf, the guy's an absolute monster at golf because he can hit his 4 iron 300 yards. Like
I
it's impressive.
can see that.
I gotta play with Tyler like one time. We played like 9 holes together down here at Houston Lake, and literally, I mean, he's hitting his 4 iron about 50 yards further than my driver goes. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, dude, back to football. You leave UNC, you come to Statesboro. We were talking about before we started, your first year at UNC was the COVID year. So a little tough. Obviously, 2021 getting in the stands is a lot different than 2020 was. But what ultimately got you to leave UNC and come to Statesboro?
Education. Like, all right, I'll make it sound different than that. I wanted to do my MBA, and the MBA at Carolina is a little different. You have to have, they're really strict on having like 5 years of working experience. And I wanted to continue to play my last 2 years of football. Well, I couldn't, get 5 years of working experience in 2 years to apply for the MBA program. So that was one of the ultimate things that left me to leave. I was also a walk-on at Carolina, but also got, some good reps during the game. I worked my way up from my freshman year all the way to the two deep by my senior year. Um, but yeah, Georgia Southern is a really good fit when it came to my MBA program and football. So I graduate my MBA program when we're done with football season this year. So all worked out like perfect. And I knew that, this was the spot for me as soon as I came on campus.
What are you
Some would argue real quick, some would argue that like, I'm just talking about the UNC, you playing football for the team, that should be work experience. If, I would argue that you playing ball for the university is work experience. Now, I'm not going to bring up, your time there. I was going to be nice about it. Josh thought I was going to, but funny enough, we'll just bring it up. I've seen Chance, live in Doak before, and we'll just leave it at that. And it's a very cool experience. We got to share and talk about, before the pod. But I would argue that UNC, messed up by not, you know what I mean? But they led you to Georgia Southern, and thank God that happened because it's all working out. Everything else works out. You're going to finish, with everything the same time as you're lifting up a Sun Belt Conference Championship trophy. Like it's gonna be perfect.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Holding that trophy up and
Hmm.
and a grad certificate.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we could just forget about the top five loss at FSU in 2020. We could focus on the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
So what'd you get your degree in first off, and what are you doing for the masters?
I got my undergrad in management in North Carolina, and then I'm working on just a general MBA right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, obviously your goal, I feel sure is to play at the next level after college, too. But, if, hopefully that works out for you, but everybody's got a backup plan. But do you have that backup plan yet, or are you still trying to figure that one out?
I got a backup plan. So when I graduate, obviously, I'm going to try the NFL thing.
Mm.
NFL stands not for long. Something Coach Brown taught us when I was at UNC, and I carry that with me. So I'm looking at doing real estate development, or maybe even like the business side of hospital administration.
Gotcha. That'll be good. That'll be
Real
good.
estate development, man. You know better than I. Apartment complexes are popping up and all over, those college towns. That's something I have a little bit of experience in. So man, real estate development's it's a good shout. I like that. I like that a lot. But you're going to the NFL, so it doesn't matter. You're
Yeah,
going to the
we're going
NFL.
pro. We're going pro. But I got two more quick, very, very quick questions for you to wrap up. Cole, do you have anything else before
I
I ask
do,
the
I
last two?
do. Just kind of looking forward to the season. Like you said, you've already done like you played against, the conference teams already. You know those D line rooms, and I'm talking strictly meat on meat. Right there, meat on meat. Big boys versus big boys, right? How confident in you and like your group that you are just going to absolutely dominate every single Sun Belt and every D line room and make their lives a living hell for 4 quarters. I'm strictly talking meat on meat. Boom, like that. Boom.
Oh yeah, we're confident. We go out there with the mindset that we belong there.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
there's not another group better than us in the Sun Belt. And
perfect.
I
That's what I
think we
like.
had I think we even had that same mindset going into Ole Miss last year. Like we were going out there to compete,
Hmm.
even
Yeah.
though
Yeah,
the game didn't turn out the way we wanted it and it got out of hand. But
we
we
didn't
went
talk
out
about that.
we went out there to belong.
Exactly. You do belong. That's the thing. Just
Yeah, Cole,
just
you basically took one of my questions, but so you pretty much answered it, Chance. But we every guy we've talked about even last year, and every guy we've talked about, just not solely Georgia Southern, but mainly some of your teammates and former teammates, as we talked a lot about the mentality. So I do like it that y'all are trying to be the baddest dudes in the conference and trying to hoist that trophy, try to keep JC's jersey clean.
Oh yeah, that's the main goal.
But yeah, dude, one last thing we've asked all the guys, like I said, former teammates and your current teammates that we've interviewed, what's your best wing spot in Statesboro?
Ooh. I'm a big Wild Wing Cafe guy.
Okay, okay.
We go
I'm a
there.
Dingus McGee's guy myself.
I've
It's too
never
much
had
like home for me.
I've never had the wings there.
Dude, exceptional, exceptional
I have to go. We're big Wild Wing guys. They take care of us, especially the big guys.
for
Um,
sure.
every Monday after a win, whole O line's there with JC. We're all, eating victory dinner. So
Well,
that
I know y'all got the hookup at Wild Wings. It's understandable, but I tell you what, Mondays at Dingus. I know y'all aren't partiers and y'all got your head on your shoulders. Nobody consumes alcohol. But on Monday, beer and wings at Dingus. It's you pay, I can't remember what it is now, but you basically get unlimited wings and it's fantastic.
might have to go there and try it out.
They're good.
I think
But
the goal would be to eat out, Dingus. That's a challenge. If it's all you can eat, you get the
yeah,
O line room there and just clear them out. You know what I mean? That would be my shout. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. I'm gonna get my ass up to Statesboro again. Yeah, we're gonna catch a win. I think we're looking at the Troy game, still deciding. Maybe more than one game this
well,
year.
I don't think we play Troy this
We
year.
don't play Troy this
I thought
year.
you do. I thought you did. Whoever the first home game is.
That's
We
Jacksonville State.
next
oh
state.
hate those guys. I might have to come into that. I can't stand those assholes.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it. I can't make it the road trip out to Cali. Got the baby coming first part of August, so I gotta at least make two or three home games this year.
Okay. Not too. Congrats on having a baby, man. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, thank you. I think that's the
Mhm.
first time I've even said it on the internet,
Oh
but
yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. Besides an Instagram post, but yeah. Well, Chance, dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast again, dude. We're looking forward to this season. Getting ready to watch you ball out and continue the success in Statesboro that you guys are on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Maybe we'll have to do this again right before the first game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll
Maybe
get you. I'll get you
maybe we
psyched
can
up, big
maybe
dog.
we
Let's
can find
go.
some time to do something down in Statesboro. That'd be the goal.
Oh, yeah, get a little live podcast going.
For
Ooh,
sure. For
maybe
sure.
on the
I'll
maybe on the course. Maybe on the course.
Maybe on
I
the
don't
Of
know.
course.
course. Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Maybe
see.
we could set that up.
I love it. I love it,
But
man. I look
all
forward
right,
to it.
Chance, thank you again, man. Good luck to you and Hail Southern.
Appreciate it, man. Hell Southern, go Eagles.
Hey, go Knowles, go Eagles.